excited?
Well, I think everybody knows we had a pregnant elephant, Asha. We noticed on Sunday that her progesterone level actually went to baseline, so we knew to expect her birth hopefully within about 3 to 5 days. So we actually started our preparations a little bit earlier this week, and we have been monitoring her 24 hours a day just for any signs of labor prior to that. We actually had a baby girl last night around 9:15. She weighs 304 pounds. She's very active, healthy. Mom did great. Baby's doing great. We've had no problems. It was a pretty smooth process.
And can you talk a little bit about the birthing process and the preparation that went into?
Sure. There is quite a bit of preparation involved, especially with an animal this large. And it's a really valuable birth for us. So we worked really closely with the pachyderm team to come up with a birth plan. Our birth plan is about 37 pages long. We sort of planned for every contingency in case anything were to go wrong. We had a plan for it. We got together every Thursday for a few months, and we did practice sessions where we ran through the birth, what we expect to happen, what everybody's roles were going to be, so that when the time came, it was a very smooth process and it went quickly. Asha did have a little bit of a longer labor than what we would have expected, but everything was still within the normal ranges. She just kind of took her time a little bit. She was in labor for hard labor for about 24 hours. And once the calf was born, everybody knew exactly what they were going to do. We did an initial physical exam on the calf to make sure there weren't any birth defects or any other issues that we might think could affect her health. We take samples of her trunk secretions as well as her blood to make sure that everything looks healthy. We also use those samples for different research projects so we can learn more about elephant calves and births. Each birth is very important. We learn a lot so that we can share that information with our friends at other zoos that are having calves, so that we know what normal is, basically. So if something were to look a little odd, we might know that there's a problem. That took about 30 minutes to do the exam. We got the calf up and over to mom right after that. It took her about 5 hours before she nursed really well, but she's nursing great, and she's really, really active and strong, and doing really well with mom. And Asha's a great mom.
What was the zoo staff like once the baby girl was born, and what did the baby calf do?
The calf initially, she was breathing great as soon as she was born. She actually started struggling quite a bit. She didn't want us messing with her during her physical exam. But basically she let us do the exam. Once she was up and getting towards mom, she was very active, trying to walk. They're very uncoordinated in the beginning, so we actually use some little straps and a harness to kind of help steady her so she doesn't fall down. But she did great. She's actually a very, very strong, very feisty little calf, so she learned very, very quickly. And the staff basically did what they were supposed to do. Everybody just kind of kicked in and did their jobs and got it done quickly. So it was very successful.
What is the zoo like when they have a new baby animal to the zoo? What is that like for the community in the zoo?
The level of excitement is about up here at this point. It's about as high as you can get. The entire staff of the zoo is extremely excited. They've all known it's been coming. We've been talking about it so much for so many months. This whole process, started 3 years ago when we sent Asha and Chandra to Tulsa to get to be bred with Sneezy, and so it's been something that we've been talking about for a really long time, and everybody's so excited that it finally happened, and came a little earlier than we expected. Her due date was more like around May 1st, so it was a little bit of a surprise, but still within the normal time frame for an elephant birth. So,
how fast do you expect her to grow?
She'll grow pretty quick. They'll put on sometimes a few pounds a day. She's going to grow pretty quickly. She'll still be quite small. She won't be full grown until she's about 10, 12. They continue to grow for quite some time. Asha and Chandra are actually still growing a little bit. So she'll grow quickly, but she's got a long ways to go.
And how many staff members did you have involved in the birthing process?
Well, we have 6 pachyderm keepers. All of them were there, and then there's 5 members on the veterinary staff, and we were all there doing the calf examination and making sure everything looked healthy with Asha and with the calf. We also had a couple of other keeper staff from other areas of the zoo that were there as running to get supplies if we needed things, because they know where things are. Also helping with the calf because it takes a lot of muscle. She's 304 pounds with not any coordination, so it's kind of hard to maneuver the baby. So it takes takes a lot of muscle. It's very exhausting too for the people that are working. So we had a lot of people rotating in. I would say we probably had maybe a staff of 15 to 20.
And talk about the name. How can the community get involved in the name?
Absolutely. Tara can give you a little more details on that, but hopefully at the beginning of the week we'll put it out. We're going to have our 3 top girl names that our staff has picked out, and what we'll do is we'll put that out for the community to then vote on which one of those names they would like to see for our little calf. That contest will go on for about a week or so, so make sure you keep checking Facebook, keep checking our website so that you can get your vote in, and we can get this little girl a name.
You said she was in labor for about 24 hours.
Yes.
How long did the actual birth take?
The actual birth, let me think for a second, it's been a long night, but typically once the calf started coming out of the birth canal, we can actually kind of see that as a little bit of a bulge under the tail. The feet came out first. For her to do that, through the whole thing, it actually took a couple of hours. A little longer than what we were expecting, but Asha knew better than us. She did her own pace. She knew what she had to do. So I would say once the calf actually got into the birth canal, probably about 2 hours before it actually was on the ground. So.
And then can you take us through those next few moments after the calf came out? What was it like in that room?
It was kind of crazy because we all knew exactly what our roles were supposed to do. My staff, like each individual person, had A, B, and C that they were in charge of, that they had to take care of. They knew where all their supplies were and they had to take care of that. Whereas the elephant staff, they also had, each person had an individual responsibility, and really we just went and did it. It looked, I was very much on the inside of the action, but it seemed very coordinated and rehearsed and sort of choreographed, and that's exactly how we wanted it. That way nothing gets missed. It's as fast as it can be. We don't want to keep the calf away from Asha for very long. We wanted to go as fast as we could so we could get her back so she could start the nursing process. And so all of our exam took about 30 minutes, which is what we expected. And the calf did really well. At that point we were making sure she was breathing okay. We had to clear out her mouth and her trunk and make sure she didn't have any mucus and things left in there. So she also, we get blood samples from them, again for different projects and to make sure she's healthy. We just want to look and see her initial baseline health. And then we got her all cleaned up and then started getting her back with mom, and we did the weight first. She's quite heavy, so we wanted to get her on the scale first before we didn't have to move her around a whole lot. It is very exciting though. You didn't really have time to stop and really absorb it because you had to just kind of go. But then afterwards, you can kind of sit and watch and like, wow, that was really, really exciting. I'm very privileged to have been part of it.
Was there any celebration going on afterwards after you finished?
There was. When we said it's a girl, there was a big celebration. Everybody wanted a girl. Having a girl, the elephants stay with their maternal herds for their whole lives. The boys usually go to a new herd. So we really wanted a girl that could stay here and really start building a herd for us. So, but yeah, after the baby nursed, that was another big celebration. And then once everybody could kind of calm down and got a little bit of sleep, we really kind of sat down and talked about it, and we all think it went really well. So we're very excited. We'll just have all that more practice for the next time for Chandra, whenever she gets pregnant.
If it had been a boy, would the elephant have had to move on to another zoo?
Potentially. With our new facility, of course, we have the ability to hold 2 bulls. So if we, it would be possible that if that calf in the future were recommended to breed with another female at another institution, we potentially would send him to another institution. Or we could certainly keep him here because we have room for 2 bulls. The nice thing is they do grow fairly slowly. They mature fairly slowly because they are a long-lived species. The males typically stay with their mom for about the first 10 years or so. So it wouldn't have been a recent thing for that.
And have you started thinking of names yet? Or
the keeper staff has. I think they already have 3 that they have narrowed down that they want to have in the contest. So I don't remember what they are.
They're not confirmed yet either.
Yeah, so we'll put those out, but there will be 3 to choose from. Exciting.
How hard was it to come up with 3 names?
Well, I didn't have to come up with any. The keeper staff actually, I don't think they had any trouble at all. They have a dry erase board in their office, and they just had tons of names written on there. They had a boy column and a girl column, and they just kept putting a ton of names up, and then as a group, they sort of then will pick and choose, you know, which 3 they like the most.
How long have they been talking about names?
They've been talking about that for months. The thing that is challenging about choosing a name is you don't want to choose a name until you actually get a chance to meet the calf. You want to see the personality of that calf because they're all different, you know, and a certain name might fit that personality a little bit better. So, so they're kind of coming up with that now that they're getting to know her. And I tell you, she's spunky.
Yes, she is.
She's just a fireball. So I think she's going to be a hoot and a half on exhibit. So.